Hello and welcome back. Now you guys already having complete idea about EFS. EFS is shared storage. So we can access EFS from multiple Linux instance, right? So now let's perform lab. See, before we jump into the lab, I want to tell you, whenever we are going to perform any lab, these labs are according to AWS best practices. Maybe sometime you feel that this lab length is actually bigger than you expecting, but we believe that whatever we are learning, we should learn according to the AWS best practices. And that's why whenever you follow lab, just understand the concept. Because when you will give exam, right, if you understand lab and what we are doing inside the lab, it will be very easy for you to answer those questions, right? Now in this lab, we are going to perform all this. Here we have diagram. We will perform all our operation on AP South 1A, so Mumbai region. Here we will create two EC2 Linux instances, and it must be Linux because EFS supported Linux only. Then we have one security group. Security group name is WebSG, and we have in this security group we have TCP port number 22 allowed from anywhere. It is required because we want to access EC2 instances from our office, so we have to allow port number 22. In outbound traffic, we are allowing all traffic. Same way, here we will configure EFS, and we have one security group known as EFS SG, which is used to protect EFS. So whenever you are going to configure EFS, you have to create one security group as well to protect your EFS. Now, when you are going to create security group for EFS, you have to allow port number 2049 known as NFS port. Now here, we are not going to write 0.0, right? We don't want to allow EFS to be accessible from anywhere. We want that only these EC2 instances can access this EFS. So here, when we will add this port inbound TCP 2049, in the source, we will add only WebSG. So member of any EC2 instance who is actually member of WebSG security group can able to access your EFS. Others cannot. Now this is one of the main best practice to protect our resources in AWS environment. So keep this in your mind. Yes, you will get better idea when we will perform this practically. So now you got idea, you understand whole process. Let's start this. So in the first process, we will create security groups. Then we will create EC2 instances, then EFS, and in the fourth step, we will access this EFS from our EC2 instances, right? So first of all, let's create security group. The first security group is WebSG. So I am on my EC2 console. Now going to security group. I have one security group default over here. I am going to click on create security group. I'm going to give name WebSG. Testing EFS, and in outbound rule it is by default all traffic allowed. Here in the inbound rule I am going to add only one port 22. If you don't want to add port here manually, you can select from here as well. Just select SSH port number 22, and I want to allow from anywhere, so 0.0.0.0, and let's click on create security group. Yes, it is done. My first security group is now ready, WebSG, with inbound port number 22 from anywhere. Sorry, it is default. Yeah. Now it's time to create another security group known as EFS SG. So click security group, EFS SG. Testing EFS. Outbound saying all traffic allowed. In the inbound rule, I will select NFS from here. see, it will automatically add 2049 port. Yeah, it is 2049 port, and I just want to allow this for WebSG. So in the source, I will say that okay, only security group member of WebSG will allow to access, right? So this is done, and let's click on create security group. Now it is done. I have my security group ready. Part 1 over. Second, we are going to create 2 different EC2 instance into the 2 different availability zone, right? If you look at over here, why I am using 2 different availability zone? To provide high availability. I have shared storage device, both of my EC2 instance running in the different availability zone, and they are accessing shared storage device. So if one of availability zone goes down, I don't need to worry about this, because I have another EC2 instance running in the different availability zone, which will provide same level of services to my user. Means my user will get uninterrupted service in case of any availability zone goes down, right? So that's why we are creating these 2 EC2 instances into the different availability zone. Now going to the EC2 dashboard, and here I am going to click on launch instance. Here I am going to give name, let's say that EFS VM1. Okay, you can give any name. I am just going to copy this name because I want to use this with other instances as well. Now here we are going to select Amazon Linux, T2 Micro, Cloud key pair. I have this particular key pair, Cloud Fox key. Here I want to create this into the AP South 1A. So I am going to click on edit. Here I will select subnet. It is AP South 1A, right? AP South 1A. I have my security group, so I am going to select this, select existing security group, and it would say WebSG. Done. Here I am not going to touch anything, going with the default option. Now see, if I am going to create 2 over here, it will create 2 EC2 instances, right? But it will create these 2 EC2 instances in the same subnet. I want to create them into the different subnet, right? So that's why I am creating this one by one. So one instance is ready. Now let's click on launch instance. So now it is done. It will create this particular instance, and meanwhile we are going to create another instance as well. So let's go to the EC2. Here we have launch instance. Now here I already copied name, so I am going to paste it. Here I am going to say EFS VM2, Linux, T2 Micro, Cloud Fox is our key, so Cloud Fox key. Security group, here we have WebSG. You may have questioned that, okay, can we create multiple EC2 instance and one security group can protect them? Yes, it is possible. So now it is done. And yeah, I want to create only one. I want to make sure that I am creating this in the AP South 1B. Yeah, so this is done. WebSG, everything is now done. Let's say launch instance. Now it will take some time to create this EC2 instance. Meanwhile, we are going to create EFS. So I am going to EFS, searching EFS, and opening this into the new tab, right? Now I have to create new one. I have one old over here. Okay, so let me delete this. Okay, so I'm going to click on create new file system. Now here you can give name. You can give name like a shared underscore storage. Here we have VPC, and don't click on create. Why? Because it will create with the default option, right? If you want to make changes, you can click on customize. See, here we have shared storage. You know about storage class. I don't want to enable automatic backup. Yeah, I don't want to enable encryption over here. Performance throughput, I'm going with the enhanced mode, which is basic, elastic. As you know that when we are going to create EFS, we do not need to provide predefined size. We are not saying that create 100 GB EFS volume. You can store unlimited data and you have to pay for actual amount of the data that you are storing. So suppose if you are storing 5 GB data, you have to pay for 5 GB, 10 GB for 10 GB, right? So you have to pay for 10 GB. So it will be elastic. We are not going to provision anything. We are not going to provide any IOs over here in the performance mode. We are going with the general purpose. Now let's click on next. Now here it is very important part.
Thanks for watching. To continue learning AWS with structured lessons, real labs, practice tests, and live sessions with Bhavesh Atara, join our full course at www.cloudfolkshub.com. For any help, call 982-575-7737. All course details are provided in the description.